Boris Becker, six-time Grand Slam champion and former world #1, had a fall from center court that looked more like a financial horror story than a sports documentary. It started in June 2017 when he was declared bankrupt by a London court over an unpaid debt of £3.5 million to private bank Arbuthnot Latham. But instead of cooperating with bankruptcy trustees, Becker decided to hide his assets. Between June 2017 and September 2018, he concealed property worth £1.13 million from the sale of a Mercedes dealership in Germany. He transferred hundreds of thousands of pounds to other accounts, including money that went to his ex-wife Barbara and estranged wife Charlele. He failed to declare his share in a £1 million property in his hometown of Lyman, Germany, and hid 75,000 shares in a tech firm. Most brazenly, he didn't hand over his trophies, including his 1985 and 1989 Wimbledon singles trophies, his 1991 and 1996 Australian Open trophies, and his 1992 Olympic gold medal. During his trial at Southwark Crown Court in April 2022, prosecutor Rebecca Chalkley said Becker had acted dishonestly and had no good reason for hiding assets. The jury found him guilty on 4 charges under the Insolvency Act: removal of property, 2 counts of failing to disclose estate, and concealing debt. On April 29, 2022, Judge Deborah Taylor sentenced him to 2.5 years in prison, telling him, "You have not shown remorse, acceptance of your guilt, or indeed any humility." Becker served 8 months at Huntercombe Prison in Oxfordshire before being released in December 2022 and immediately deported to Germany. The man who became Wimbledon's youngest champion at 17 ended up with prisoner number A2923EV at age 54. Bob Hewitt, once a Grand Slam doubles champion with 7 Wimbledon titles, 5 men's doubles, 2 mixed doubles, and 15 Grand Slam titles overall, 9 men's doubles, 6 mixed, was convicted of sexual assault against young girls he coached.
The top story then: former tennis star Bob Hewitt will spend 6 years behind bars for raping underage girls.
The Australian-born South African's crimes spanned decades, but only came to light in 2011 when multiple women found the courage to speak out. Sue Ellen Sheehan, Twiggy Tolkien, and a third woman, identified only as Amanda, testified about systematic abuse that occurred when they were children training under Hewitt in the 1980s and 1990s. Sheehan was just 12 years old when Hewitt began the abuse, starting with inappropriate touching during coaching sessions. The abuse escalated to rape, often occurring in his car after practice or at the tennis courts. The trial in 2015 revealed Hewitt's pattern of targeting girls from troubled backgrounds, gaining their parents' trust, and exploiting his position of authority. Tolkien testified that Hewitt raped her repeatedly when she was 12 and 13, sometimes at Sun City Resort where he took her for tournaments. Amanda described how Hewitt would assault her during private lessons. On March 23, 2015, Judge Bert Bam found Hewitt guilty of 2 counts of rape and 1 count of indecent assault. During sentencing, Judge Bam noted, "The most disturbing feature is that the accused showed no remorse." He sentenced the 75-year-old to 6 years in prison. Hewitt's name was struck from the International Tennis Hall of Fame, where he'd been inducted in 1992. He was released on parole in April 2020 after serving 3.5 years. The man who won 65 doubles titles left a legacy forever marked by the harm he caused to his victims. Daniel Kullerer, once Austria's top-ranked player who reached world number 55, became the first tennis player ever banned for life for match fixing. Known as Crazy Danny for his volcanic on-court temper, his trouble centered on corruption charges. In May 2011, the Tennis Integrity Unit found him guilty of 3 match-fixing offenses between October 2009 and July 2010. Evidence showed he had made corrupt approaches to other players, offering them money to throw matches. One incident involved attempting to fix a match at the 2010 French Open. The lifetime ban effectively ended his professional tennis career and marked him as the sport's first player to receive such a severe punishment for match fixing. His fall from Austria's #1 to tennis's most notorious match fixer serves as a stark warning about corruption in professional sports. Jennifer Capriati, the former teenage sensation who won 3 Grand Slam titles and Olympic gold, faced legal troubles that began shockingly early. At just 18 years old, on May 16, 1994, her tennis career came to a halt when police arrested her at the Gables Inn in Coral Gables, Florida.
Coral Gables police arrested Capriati, then 18, on a marijuana charge.
Hotel guests had complained about the smell of marijuana coming from her room. When police arrived, they found Capriati with marijuana and charged her with possession. She was released on $500 bail. The arrest photo of the teenager who had turned pro at just 13 stunned the tennis world. She entered a drug rehabilitation program and took a 14-month break from tennis. Nearly 2 decades later, on February 14, 2013, Capriati was back in legal trouble. She was charged with battery and stalking after an incident at a gym in North Palm Beach. According to the police report, she confronted her ex-boyfriend Ivan Brennan at the gym and punched him multiple times in the chest. When he tried to escape to the men's locker room, she followed him, continuing the confrontation. Eyewitnesses and her ex-boyfriend reported the incident, but no camera footage was made public. While the stalking charges were eventually dropped, she pleaded no contest to the battery charge. The former world number 1 completed 30 hours of community service and anger management counseling as part of her plea deal. From tennis prodigy to courtroom regular, Capriati's story remains one of tennis's most tragic falls. Ilie Nastase, tennis's original bad boy who won 2 Grand Slam singles titles and reached world number 1, proved his notorious temper didn't mellow with age. At 71 years old, on May 25, 2018, Romanian police pulled him over in Bucharest for driving erratically. When officers asked him to take a breathalyzer test, Nastase refused and became aggressive. The RTL Today headline said, "Nastase arrested twice in one day for driving offenses." Video footage showed him pushing police officers and attempting to flee the scene. He was arrested and charged with drunk driving and assaulting police officers. Tests later showed his blood alcohol level was well above the legal limit. This wasn't his first violent encounter. In 2009, he also had certain skirmishes for which the court fined him and gave him a suspended sentence. His pattern of violence and refusal to control his temper, which once made him tennis's most controversial figure in the 1970s, had evolved into a genuine criminal pattern. The Romanian legend, who won 64 singles and 45 doubles titles in the Open era, couldn't win against his own demons. Bernard Tomic, the controversial Australian player, found himself in repeated legal trouble that derailed what was once a promising career. In July 2012, at age 19, Tomic was charged with trespassing and resisting arrest after police were called to a penthouse party in Surfer's Paradise. He allegedly refused to leave when asked by residents and became aggressive with responding officers. He was fined $2,000 for his behavior. In July 2015, Tomic faced more serious charges when he was arrested in Miami Beach for resisting arrest without violence and trespassing after warnings. According to the police report, hotel security at the W Hotel had asked him to leave after noise complaints, but Tomic refused and became belligerent. When police arrived, he allegedly ignored multiple commands and had to be physically removed. He spent a night in jail before posting bail. In 2017, the Grand Slam committee fined Tomic $15,000 after he openly admitted to faking an injury just to get a strategic medical timeout during his first-round loss to Misha Zverev. It wasn't just a bad match, it was a performance, and not the tennis kind. Then, in 2018, he was cited for reckless driving on the Gold Coast after being caught driving his BMW at excessive speeds in a residential area. The pattern of arrests and legal troubles, combined with his on-court controversies, turned Tomic from Australia's next great hope into one of tennis's most troubled figures. The world of professional tennis, with its pristine white clothing and polite applause, hides darker stories of champions who fell from grace. These cautionary tales remind us that success on the court doesn't guarantee good choices off it. From Wimbledon trophies hidden from bankruptcy trustees to champions convicted of assault, these players serve as warnings about how far heroes can fall. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. I'll be posting new content daily. Hit that notification bell.